the
Well,
climate.
there has to be some understanding of what is needed to do in the will to do it, and basically that's what's probably missing out there. You see ideas that definitely could work easily, you know, things with Maverick schools and these places, all the charter schools, you know,
Everybody
very
knows
little,
it's not working.
very little projects for a student, a population that would normally be given to projects, more, you know, hands-on projects and physical work, or they have this this carpentry next to the school,
Yes,
which
that's
they
right.
could create a contract for the kids to go there and learn, you know, manual abilities, and then come back. Those things are there in front of the face of each one of them, and no one seems to notice that that has to be done.
When I went to school in New York City, when we graduated junior high school, ninth grade, you went to a high school. We had a whole series of high schools that, in addition to teaching you English and math, and some social studies and some science, you left with a trade. New York School of Aviation Trades, New York School of Printing, Fashion Institute of Design.
How good is that?
For those kids, it was very good. Their parents hadn't been to college. These were poor kids. I was a poor kid. My mother and father, neither one went to school. Neither one went to
So
school.
you're giving them a tool, you know, they say, if something goes wrong, I'm a plumber. I can do this.
When they graduated from high school, they're 18. They got a certificate in plumbing in addition to an academic, in addition to English and math, and
Yeah,
etc.
and science, yeah.
They got a job.
You got a job.
Once they got a job, they could continue their education.
Now, where was that caught along the way? How is that lost?
It was lost. We still have the New York School of Aviation Trades in New York. We still have the Fashion Institute of Technology. Some of those still exist, New York School of Printing. But we took shop in the 8th grade, a half a year of one shop and a half a year of another shop, in the 8th grade.
Wow.
So by the time I got to the 10th grade, but I didn't go that route. I went the academic route. Because my father and mother wanted me to go to college. And my sister, older than I am, she already went to college. But she went to a free college, Hunter College. I went to City College, a free college, $3.50 a year. My parents could afford that.
Yeah.
Not much more, but $3.50.
And looking at one of my ex-students working at Publix,
Oh, yeah.
he is not being a cashier only because he has no idea how it operates. And I say, well, that's something that could have been taught at school. You know, how to work on a cashier is so easy.
Sure.
You know, elemental thinking. Most of these kids will get a part-time job in one of these shops. You know, why instead of having them work outside carrying things in or something, not training for this, which is so easy, elementary. I mean, 4 classes, 4 hours, they can master the whole thing.
And the machine does the addition for you and the subtraction for you.
Exactly, it's just
You don't have to do your own.
buttons. That's it. It's just press a button.
Tell you how much change you're going to give me from $20. Sure.
Wonderful.
Anyway,
that's culture.
This is my lecture for today. Goodbye, guys.
Okay.
Now tell me
Thank
what
you
want.
so much. It's always so interesting.
Was there another?
No, I'm
Those
very
were
clear because you
everything
did it
that you
already.
needed?
Yes.
Okay.
Sure.
Oh, perfect, perfect.
Just
And this is ready. This is about ready. I just have 2 more pages to go, and we'll have the Spanish version already.
This is of that little book,
Yeah.
the one that Parrots printed up.
Yeah. This one. That one there.
Yeah, someone stole one of mine.
Well, you get it now. There you go. Yeah,
But I said I would pay for the printing.
I know.
How much? Where is it?
Well, it's, you know, we've only printed like, 25 copies, so
So that cost you $25
25, yeah, you know,
more.
25 times 6, that's basically, they're $6 each.
So what are you going to sell it for?
Well,
Our idea is, can we give this away as an ebook and really transform? Because Linda Wales says hello. Linda Stark, I guess, is
Yeah.
what she is now. But Linda Wales says hello. She showed me her archive. She's kept catalogs from 1973, So I could actually see how the programs have progressed as you go through, going from 73 to 1980. You could see the strength and the requirements growing. And there was something called the Guardian Drum or something like that, Gatekeeper, the Gatekeeper, which was a newsletter that was sent out saying, okay, here's a description of some of the practicums.
You paid for this?
Yes,
You give me a bill.
I will give you a bill.
You heard
So-
that.
Yeah. Linda Swales says, why don't we get those to the superintendents so that every principal can get a copy, and I said, look, it fits on a little chip. You could just take this and then they could put it on the server system. Anybody could download it. And so that's in her mind. She says, yeah, maybe. And then, along with it is a document that the teacher could then put up on their wall. They could download this document and, it could have a picture or...
So this is how you're going to market it.
Marketing is an interesting term. It implies that someone has to buy something. I just want them to buy in. In other words, it's sort of like...
But if they don't buy anything, then how do you know they're buying in?
Because these appear on walls.
These
The
are-
posters appear on walls.
This is a poster.
That's a poster. And you print it, you put it up on a wall. And there's different formats. I mean, there's a poster with a photo in it.
That's my quote.
Yeah, this is your quotes. That's the whole idea. Different kinds of...
That's my quote.
yeah. These are all quotes from other people,
Right.
but then your quotes. And so this goes to the principal. And the superintendent says, could you please put some of these up on your walls? They start by putting it in the teacher's lounge.
Well, let me say how I feel about this and what Steve is saying. There is a lot that is reading out there.
Oh, yeah.
There is a lot of theoretical knowledge out there to support any kind of a change happening today. But however, there is no change happening.
Because people aren't reading it.
Because people aren't reading. I remember I was telling Steve the other day, if we could get teachers to read, it's because most teachers are not reading. So if we start by something, and I very much like this system, you see, when I'm as a teacher, when I look at this, these proves me that I have to change things the way I do them.
Because
There is a guide here. It's reminding me that this has to happen, and that this has to happen, and this has to happen. There has to be a system in place that is able to transform a school and to bring about change.
But only if the person you're working for, is receptive.
It is receptive. That's correct.
That person's got to be receptive.
Yes.
So that you're not fighting that battle.
Exactly. It's what I keep telling Steve all the time. I say we have to get to someone who is either very interested or very powerful. Because that's another way to do things, is, hey guys, this has to happen. You'll go into each email of every Broward school, and this thing has to be in place.
Except if you don't get the staff, you can't have every door operating.
Well, that's right. Exactly. So it has to be...
You have to give them time to buy in.
Right.
You have
Right.
to tell them why it's better for them
Yes.
and for the students.
And that's part of the training we want to get done is come to schools, talk to teachers, sit down with them 15 minutes, tell them about this is out there, and this is easy to read, this is well explained already, this is so many years of experience. Okay, can we see each other again after you've done this reading and this thinking, and please, let's talk about it again.
Flip it up.
Yeah.
That's called flipping.
Flipping, exactly.
Instead of you do it in class, you give them something to read ahead of time.
That's right.
And when
yeah.
they come to class, you don't have to do any talking. you can begin to ask some questions.
You know what's expected already, exactly. So and so we go from school to school, and maybe we can knock on the door of someone and say, hey, we're going to do this for several schools. Let's bring some principals in, but you also have to people have to start to realize that we are in a hole. This is not working.
He'll tell you, I offered to do this in a zone selected by the superintendent in Broward County, a zone consisting of a high school, a couple of middle schools, and elementary schools that feed the pattern. All I wanted the superintendent to do is take it to the board. I wrote it out, took him to Jackson for dinner, nice place. I don't go there myself, but with him I went there.
Yeah.
He didn't take it to the superintendent. He didn't take it to the board. All I wanted was the board to know. I already had lined up Ford Foundation to give me $500,000 if I needed it, up to $500,000.
Wow.
Because I wanted every student to be given a computer. Every single student would have a computer. A small computer in the first 5 grades, another computer in the 6 through 12. And for $1 at the end of their time, they can keep it.
Wow.
They can keep it. Because it'd be out of doesn't last more than 5 years. Even that's a year too long. I was going to do that. And then once you do that, you only have to do it with one grade level, the end grade level. So
It starts to move up, yeah.
it's easy.
It's easy.
And I had the money to do that.
It's unbelievable that it doesn't get done.
It did. He was there for 4 years. He didn't take it. And this was when he just got the job. Just got the job. So he had 4 years to take it to the board.
Never did.
Never took it to the board, and he retired. He got out. Yeah.
Jesus Christ. And that's the only way to get things done, is someone to take it there and say, please, let's look at this.
Just take it to the board.
Exactly.
I didn't need anyone else.
Let them do the thinking. Let them
Just
read.
the Board of Education.
Expose things. That's it. That's all we're asking.
He never
You know,
took it.
I guess it's gonna have to, something is gonna have to. But I mean, what can happen that is as bad as what is happening already for them to realize?
What the state is doing in this today, they're collecting data.
Oh yeah, good at
The
that.
data is taking a picture. That's what they're doing. And the reason for the meeting was they wanted to know what our response is to the data. That was the purpose of the meeting. And there were about 40 of us around the table, about 30 or so representing various things, and a couple of foundations, more than a couple, about 5 or 6 foundations. I happened to be on the Broward Education Foundation, so I was there for that. I also sat with Broward Workforce, so Mason was there, so I was on that board. So I was on 3 boards that were present at this meeting. And at 2.5 hours.
Come on.
I don't have patience.
Same thing.
I
when,
really do not have patience.
Same thing when I was doing
Anymore.
the coordination for the ESOL for the Broward. Same thing. They talk about numbers, data, percentile, this and that. No one ever says a word on how to teach, what's the right strategy. None of that gets. It's just about filling up that green book so that we don't get caught.
Have you thought of going to other counties? Like, would Dade County be receptive?
You know, my wife is right. Sometimes she's right. Trouble is, most of the time she's
Most
right.
of the time, wives are right.
I'm 84 and a half, 85 in January. 85 years old. I just said the eulogy to Ed Manson just this past week, Thursday. So I did some thinking because this guy, I brought him here from Hartford, Connecticut, when we opened up the university school. I brought the Hartford Mafia here. I had Joan Gelomino, Rand Nazzo, Ed Manson, Lenny Tomasello, one more, 5 of them I had.
That sounds like the payroll of the mafia.
I was a consultant in Hartford from 67 to 74. Hartford 74, in a library. And I only got through the first 3 grades during that period. We produced learning activity packages, give to teachers. Ed Manson was responsible, Joe Randazzo was responsible for the K through 3. Ed Manson was responsible for the technology. And then the superintendent left. Bob Miles Bob Miles was the other one I brought here. Bob ended up being superintendent in something on the island. And that was the end. So I decided, I took over the presidency here in 69. I spent 3 days every month rather, up there. I couldn't do that anymore. So as long as those 2 guys left, one was superintendent, one was assistant superintendent in charge of elementary school, I kind of backed out. But I was going to get the funding for 4 through 6, 4 through 5, 4 and 5, and do the middle school. So it was going to take a 5-year project once I got the BrLeUdE out. It would take 5 years to go through into the high schools. It's called Hartford 74. You can see it in the library. Put it in there. But
so someone will have to pick up where you left.
You need so you know, I said to myself, and she said to me, "Why do you need that? Why do you need it?" And you know, the more I thought about it, and I would bury one guy after another. Bob Miles, I now buried. Ed Manson is buried. Randazzo, I don't see anymore. Lenny became a superintendent in Connecticut. So I just decided maybe she's right. Maybe she's right.
A man has got a right. You've earned it.
Well, you know, if you sell this book or you give it the books, people will call me.
That's true.
They'll want me to come and speak.
And speak.
Yeah, they'll want that.
And that you can do.
Maybe.
Maybe.
But even that, you can't do it in one. You got to really kind of sit and talk to them. And
oh, true.
One sitting doesn't make the change.
No, it doesn't.
You
Oh
don't
no.
transfer.
So I'll be doing that, and that's sometimes more difficult. Like I'm flying to California because my brother's going to be 80 years old. So I'm leaving Friday morning, and I'm coming back on the midnight, so I can be here Monday. I ought to read the point of my life right if I can drive by day and come in on Tuesday.
That's true.
But I can't because I got a 12 o'clock meeting with Workforce One on Monday.
Wow.
So anyway.
All right.
So you'll give me a bill.
Yeah.
Okay. I will pay that bill to you.
Well, do you at least like the idea? You talked about the flipped classroom.
I like the idea if you're going to do it.
Yeah, I'm doing it. I basically.
No, but if you're going to follow through, and service what you're giving him.
Yeah, the idea being that if they get the book, they also get
The posters.
the posters, and then the idea is to get a camera into the classroom where the students then are talking about what does that poster mean to me as a student.
So you're going to train the teachers. You're going to do that. You're going to do that in Spanish.
Yes.
Right.
All right. I don't mind being a catalyst.
Okay.
I don't
Right.
mind being that. I didn't mind going once to each place where you're doing that.
Mm-hmm.
So you can.
And I calculated it down that if I can get them for 10 minutes, that's all I need with the group of teachers, because then the idea is that they read this first.
Right, but they're not going to. They're not going to. Who's going to let you go come in?
I haven't figured that out yet. How I get to the principal to say, look, would you
No, you're
like...
not the principal. You got to get to the superintendent or the assistant superintendent,
Okay.
at least at that level. And then you can go to the principal. If the assistant says, "Find a principal, we'll let you do this," then you can go to the principal.
Okay,
But you
that's
can't
the
go
way
without
to
that
go.
assistant superintendent.
Ah.
That's.
I I see.
That's
I always
what
thought that they needed training.
They do
That
need,
everybody needs training and say, well, you got the training of the flipped classroom. We're going to flip the classroom, teach the teachers how to use cameras. Really, I'm just trying to get into the school.
well,
that I can
you're not gonna
present
get
this.
into a classroom teacher.
Okay. You got to persuade the
Yeah,
superintendent.
somebody's gotta let you in.
Hmm. Interesting.
Yeah, someone's gotta,
And by the way, that someone is already going to let you in by saying this is training, certified training, approved training.
yeah, I mean, someone's gotta open the door.
Yeah, that's what I have spoken
I
with.
see.
That's what I had spoken with my friend from Palm Beach.
Ah, I see.
He said, "Yeah, you need this contact to take you there. 'Cause
Right,
these are the people that say it goes, and when they say it goes, then it goes."
at least, one teacher was a little concerned will say, did you get the superintendent's permission?
Information. I see.
Yes, I've been there first, he says, I can do this.
Mm-hmm.
They'll pick up the phone and they'll check, to be sure you did it. Because they're covering their, you know what.
So we find the assistant superintendent for curriculum or something like
Right.
this.
Right,
And say, we got this package, we got a little book, we got these posters.
yeah, and we'd like to work with a group of teachers and see if it's effective. So we'd like to beta test it.
Mm-hmm.
And we just need expenses,
It's interesting.
so you don't do it for nothing.
Right.
You just need expenses. What will it cost?
Right.
Yeah, tell
Well,
them approximately what it will cost.
You know, it's the photocopying cost of this.
Whatever
that's
you tell them, that's what
That's what it is.
it costs.
Right.
Tell them, no, these books I already paid for.
And the
Or you can
electronic-
say that this book will cost you $6.
Yeah.
Whatever it really is.
But yeah, that's reasonable
I mean,
cost.
so they can take it out of petty cash.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So don't go too far,
No.
because gas is going up to $5 a gallon.
Mm-hmm. Over 5 in Cali.
In California, it is.
Over 5, 525, 529.
I learned that
Oh
yesterday.
my, yeah,
I
it's
said to my
crazy.
brother, he was going to take me to San Diego.
He said, we
Because
can't do
that's
it
where-
anymore.
That's where my two nephews are.
Uh-huh.
And I got shirts which say Nova University baseball
Uh-huh.
for them.
Let's go, Steve.
But
So I'm going to leave you